Welcome to my home kitchen on the Irish West Coast and just a short stroll from Hazel Mountain Chocolate, my very own factory. Food is my love language, my passion, my playground. But here's the twist. I'm not just serving food, I'm trading it for stories. So make yourself at home because here, every bite comes with a story. Welcome back to my kitchen. I'm so excited to bake something with plums today. Autumn plums are a true seasonal gem and they bring a sweet, slightly tart flavour that's perfect for fall baking. I love plums so much. I love using them for sweet and savoury dishes, but today I'm going to make one of my favourite tarts that I love making during the cold season. Let's make the tart base first. We're going to need some flour. I love using almond flour in the mixture. It makes the pastry quite crumbly, biscuity. It's really lovely. I'm going to use some fine sugar, half a teaspoon of baking powder. I have some cubed butter. It's quite cold. We're going to add that in too. And we're going to mix it. Using paddle attachment, you're going to mix it for about 3-4 minutes until sandy texture. We're going to add our wet ingredients. We only need 3 egg yolks, sour cream. This requires only a rough, quick mix. And the last step is to add it to our sandy pastry base. You only need to mix it just for a minute or two when it nearly comes together, and then you finish up by hand. The pastry is a little sticky, so I like to put on gloves for that last step. And you can just tip it over on your counter. And it's going to come together so easily into a lovely pastry bowl. That's ready, that's it. Now what I will do is I'm going to leave 1/3 of the pastry for later for crumble, and I'm just going to use majority of it for our pastry base. I'm going to pop this into the fridge while I'm working with the rest. I have my baking tin and I need to line the base of it with baking paper. There's no need to do anything with the sides. This is the type of pastry that will actually work really well to be kneaded into the tin. You don't need a rolling pin, it actually is so flexible. You can use your hand to push the pastry into the baking tin, and don't forget to push it up the sides as well. I'm going to dab it with a fork just for best air circulation, and it's going to go to the oven. While the pastry is getting pre-baked in the oven, I'm going to move on to the plums. The plums I have are quite small, so I'll only cut them in half. Plums are all chopped, they look gorgeous. And because their natural sweetness intensifies when baking, I'm only going to add a little bit of sugar. But I'm going to start with cinnamon. I'm going to add cinnamon and a little bit of clove just because I love it. Some brown sugar. I actually love adding vanilla sugar as well, so I'm going to add just a little teaspoon. And cornstarch. So you can use cornstarch or potato flour, anything that's starchy to absorb all the liquid so it doesn't go into our tart base. Now, all we need to do is mix it a little bit. The pastry is ready, it's beautiful, golden brown. Let's finish it off. All we need to do is tip all the plums onto our pastry base. Oh, it smells amazing. The cinnamon, I sometimes love adding cardamom as well, but I think cinnamon and cloves for the season that's in it, I think that's perfect. smell amazing. Now onto our crumble topping. For the crumble topping, I'm going to use a little bit of the pastry that I set aside in the beginning. I'm going to put on my gloves because it is a little bit sticky. And we'll finish it off by adding 2 tablespoons of almond flour and some beautiful toasted almond. All we need to do is break apart the big chunk of pastry until it starts falling apart into little bits of delicious crumble. Now the crumble is all ready and we just need to put it all over our tart. And with your fingers you can break it down even further to little bits. If you like big chunks of crumble, leave it as it is and keep going until it's all used up. Our crumble pie is ready and it's going to go back to the oven for about 20 minutes. I just can't tell you how gorgeous the cinnamon, the plums, toasted almond together. It's incredible smell. And there's just one thing missing, a little dusting of icing sugar, and we are ready to share our pie. Wow, the weather in Ireland is so unpredictable. Even winter sun can shine brighter than you'd expect. I love it. That's a plum, cinnamon, clove tart with a little crumble on top with almond.
Oh, this sounds amazing.
It's very nice.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I'm gonna have a
Like
little more. Oh my god, that's so yummy.
You're together.
Yeah.
How did you meet?
Work actually.
Yeah.
Work. Okay.
Yeah.
So we work in IT and we were teaching these courses about certain IT project methodology. And we were just teaching the same course.
Yeah. Agile IT development, and we teach Scrum and SAFe. That's a framework for agile development.
Okay.
Yeah. And we did it in Denmark, Sweden, Norway, Holland, and yeah.
Yeah, so we were just traveling around and teaching this course, and then that's kind of it.
Isn't it great? Travel for work.
Yeah.
It is. Yeah.
It's such a luxury.
And then if you add love to it, I think it's great.
So my grandmother was like in Denmark we have these open sandwiches, which is like a profession in itself to make.
I love open sandwiches.
And my grandmother and grandfather actually had their own shop making those.
Okay.
And she always worked with food a lot, but she was never able to follow a recipe, which is like now kind of a family joke that no one will ever follow a recipe. And sometimes she would always adapt little things and just change stuff up. And sometimes she was very successful in it, and sometimes not so much. So one time she was making like a what do you call it? A cheesecake.
Yeah. Okay.
And you're meant to use like the cream cheese, like mascarpone or something, right? But she used like one with like capsicum in it. Because she didn't understand that it was like there were different kinds. She just saw like a cream cheese and like bought that, and she was like, oh, that's probably fine. Tasted very odd. This is delicious though, but she would always just like freestyle stuff, and sometimes it turned out extraordinary, and sometimes it turned out very interesting. Like some of my fondest childhood memories is just cooking with my grandmother, because she had such a curiosity for food that like it was just always really fun to be in the kitchen with her, and it was always just like playful and just like really good times. So I think my love of food and cooking comes from that.
Yeah.
I have this vivid memory of making a kind of like a crust strawberry pie with her, and like kneading the dough, and like all of the stuff was just on my fingers and nothing was in the bowl, and we're trying to get like all of the dough back into like the pie what do you call it, like mold. And yeah, so it's just like really good memories of baking with my grandmother, and that's what this reminds me of.
We had a lot of pies and cakes as a child as well. We also had, I don't know what it's called, you know, the famous Danish word rødgrød med fløde. That's, what do you call that? Fruit
jelly?
Fruit jelly with milk on it.
Oh.
Cream, fløde is cream. So like rhubarb, blackcurrant, strawberries, and you make it into not porridge, but something fluid.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know what it's called in English. And you put cream on it, and you eat it.
Oh, is it like a trifle?
Yeah,
kind of, but without the crumble.
Without the crumble, only the fruit.
The fruit?
Only the fruit, yeah, with cream.
Yeah.
It's so delicious. We always wanted to visit Ireland and Dublin and the rest of the island actually, but the thing this time was we're going to a concert on Thursday. Okay. We're going to see Coldplay. We are very much looking forward to that. And then we stayed for one night in Dublin, and then we went to Drogheda.
Yeah.
And we rented it's like a medieval tower. It's like living in a dream. I feel like Braveheart or something like that. Wake up every morning, strutting around. So Galway, and we want to see the cliffs of Moher. Yeah, Newgrange.
Okay, great.
And the Trim Castle. So yeah.
Yeah, it's just such a beautiful place.
Can I have another?
Finish it.
So good.
You're like, stop talking now. I want to eat it. Well, thank you so much. You were wonderful.
I will.